Hello folks, welcome back to Round Our World in 80! Woo! So we are in the middle of debriefing our Disney trip.
Have you ever wondered what this is supposed to be? It's supposed to be a wave, but it looks like
Spiders.
injured cuttlefish.
So we're talking about our second day at Disney. This was a fun day. We got to go to Star Wars Galaxy's Edge. So that was literally the first thing we did when we woke up. And we did...
No, the first thing we did when we woke up was looked at our clock and our watches and went, yeah, no, we're going back to bed.
Yeah.
We went back to bed.
Because we were
for an
planning
hour.
on being there for the extra magic hours. Or at least we...
Part of it.
Part of it. We were going to plan on being there at like, what,
7.
7:30 or 7? And we ended up getting there around 8.
We woke
or
up at 6 and went,
Yeah,
no. Got there at 8:30.
Yeah. And it was still not a bad wait. And that's kind of what we were trying to do, because we noticed on all of the data from touring plans for base the last like week or so was there was a huge spike for Smuggler's Run.
Wait times were like
at the very beginning
an hour and
of
a half
extra
at 6:30
magic
in the morning,
early.
and then by 7:30 they were like 35 minutes.
Yeah, so we were like we're not getting up super
No.
early to try to do all that. We'll try to time it for that lull. And I think we did pretty darn good. It ended up being 45 minutes for Smuggler's Run. Good morning. We're about to go in.
Oh boy.
Before we talk about Smuggler's Run, what was your first impression just like walking into the land?
First impression initially was, wow, this place is a lot smaller than I thought it was going to be, because you walk in and it's just like there's the entrance to the ride that's not up yet,
Yep.
and like an X-wing, and then some trees over there, and it's like I thought there was a lot more than this.
But then it keeps going
Then-
and
yeah,
going
then it
and
keeps
going.
going. Oh, there's a
And
second
we're like,
half.
we can't see the Millennium Falcon from here.
The second part, it was really cool.
Yeah.
I mean, for me, I could still tell I was in a theme park. It wasn't like, ooh, I traveled to another planet.
Yeah.
But to be fair, you can't see like any other part of the park when you're there.
No.
So as far as being immersed in that part of the park, yeah, there's
If you
nothing
allow
else
your
there.
imagination to go there, you could totally make it.
It doesn't help, though, that 90% of the residents of Black Spire are in sandals carrying a Mickey-shaped ice cream sandwich with shopping bags from Earth.
True.
It overpowers the 2 stormtroopers that walk through every once in a while.
I thought it was really interesting because from the sounds and the sights, and yeah, we walked in and there weren't as many people as we were expecting, and it was kind of bare because the new ride isn't open yet. But we saw like random characters running around. Like it almost felt like Disneyland, and they don't really pose for pictures. They just kind of interact with people as you go along, even Chewbacca and Rey and some of the other people. They're like always around like fixing things or like...
Chewbacca just wanders around all day and fixes stuff.
well, tries to fix things. But as we go in and it got even more detailed, I was like, wow, this is really impressive. And they put a lot of thought into the layout and the details, and yeah.
Yeah,
It was really
pretty
cool.
impressive.
All right, so then we did Smuggler's Run. We did Child Swap. They had it over kind of to the side, so you actually like
was
went
out
up
of
the
the way.
stroller ramp, so it was out of the way. You didn't have to worry about being in the way of people trying to get in line. So I went first. I went through the main queue, which was very impressive. It is kind of like a engine hangar where they're just repairing engines, and so every once in a while the engine actually like starts up, and then some voice is like, why is this not working? Why does Ohana, or whatever his name is,
Ohana.
why does he want this engine repaired? We might as well just buy a new one. Like, it was pretty funny.
back to life.
And then I pulled out the Parks Play app to play on the data pad as I went through the line. And they had a lot of really interesting like games to play. And it wasn't just like trivia. It was like, hey, are you at this location? Okay, well then look for this in the area that you are. So you weren't just staring at your phone the entire time. It was encouraging you to pick up details around you.
Encourage you to interact with
yes.
the robots and the walls around you instead of the people. Ignore the people.
But no, but like there were some people like ahead of me. They weren't really close to me, but they were like obviously two different parties, but they were also both doing the Parks Play app. And so they were interacting. Oh, I see this one over here. There's 3 of them or whatever. So it did encourage a little bit, but you have to be an extrovert to probably be comfortable with that. But yeah, really detailed queue, really fun. I did not get a chance to like hang out in the like living room of the Millennium Falcon. They pretty much straight away put us into the ride. But it was a lot of fun. I was one person put with like a family of 5. So everybody in that family knew each other and I was like the one random person.
Me too.
But I got to sit in the right pilot seat, which I was really excited about because that means I made the jump to light speed, which was so much fun. And everything I hoped it would be. And then I was in charge of up and down, which it's typical for an actual like airplane where up is down and down is up. It's not like a
Forward as you push the nose down.
yes.
And back as you pull the nose up.
Right. But it's not very intuitive if you've never like flown a plane before or something like that.
Well, the stick they have you use sticks more out horizontally, so it was this way was down and this way was up.
Right. But then the other kid was left and right and he got to push buttons. And so he was doing pretty good. We only got one coaxium shipment.
Oh, wow, really?
How many did y'all get?
Like 2, almost 3.
Well, we kind of had some issues with our gunners. They didn't know what was going on. And the one kid was having a hard time lining up left to right. But it's okay. We still had fun.
The lady driving when I was in the right, I was right seat as well. And she was in charge of going left and right. And she didn't know what she was doing either. So she just went like this the whole time.
Yeah.
And so the sim just kept doing this the whole time. By the time we got out, we were like, ooh.
But like I remember going to Disney Quest with my family when I was like 10 or 11, and there was a ride there that was a Pirates of the Caribbean ride, and it was very similar. It had screens all the way around. There wasn't any like stuff like the Millennium Falcon. It was just screens, and then it had a boat that like rocked back and forth, and there was one person that drove and a bunch of people that pulled cannons. And I remember my family got so into that. We rode that ride like 5 times because we really wanted to beat the ride, because there was a like ghost pirate at the end that we could never beat. And we really got into it. And I can see if you are a family like that, how you would love to ride Millennium Falcon, like if you did Smuggler's Run, because you want to get as many coaxium things as possible. Like
strategizing how to beat the...
Oh yeah. So I think it's a great ride and I love it. And one thing that we talked about, y'all did like okay, I guess, where you didn't do a lot of damage to your ship, right?
We weren't smoking and burning by the time we landed.
We were smoking and burning by the time we landed, and so when we exited, it reflected that in the environment. Like there was sparks going off and like crackling sound.
Oh, really?
Yeah, like it like reflected the fact that our ship got really damaged because the kid was having a hard time flying. So it's things like that that make the ride so much fun, and I think it's pretty awesome.
I mean, we got damaged, but not like that.
No, we got damaged pretty bad. But yeah, after that we went to Toy Story Land.
Mm-hmm.
So that Reagan could actually ride something, and we went on Toy Story Mania.
I gotta wait for them to get. Oh my goodness! Look at them.
So you got your glasses? Oh, you got Daddy's glasses now. You're upside down. Oh yeah, cool baby.
Over here.
Cool baby.
Let go.
Here we go. Good job, Reagan.
You're clear to break play.
And you guys did pretty darn well for yourselves working together. I was
Reagan was pulling the string. I just
she
helped.
was. Yes, she was. And then we had fast passes for Tower of Terror.
Reagan loved that ride.
She didn't go on that ride, but she loved running up and down the Sunset Boulevard, looking at all the things. When I was watching her, she was obsessed with the Minnie and Mickey plushes in the windows. She kept trying to blow kisses.
See, this is my theory about this, is she's attracted to what you point her towards, because the whole time they were doing that, she was at the shop looking at Minnie, Mickey, and all that stuff. When I was watching her, she was fascinated with the magnolia tree seed cones on the ground. And she had 2 of them, 1 in each hand, and for the entire time you were in the ride, she just walked around with these little seed pods in her hand, and would not let me have them, by the way, and eventually put them in one of the planters.
Oh, that's funny. So I went on
really good.
Star Tours because out of the 2 of us, I'm the only one that likes that ride, apparently.
It's okay. It just sometimes makes me feel lazy.
Yeah. I didn't remember this until recently, like once I actually wrote it, but they did do a renovation on that ride, and they have scenes from the new Star Wars movies, and they end at Batuu in the ride. So that's kind of cool how they tie the 2 in together. And then we went to Sci-Fi Diner for lunch, which was much different than I was expecting it to be. So they actually have you sit in cars, so there's only like space for 2. So it was Reagan and I in the front row, and you were behind us. It's dark in there. It's quiet because like people are like watching the
Well, it's not really
random
quiet, but
cartoons, but it's not as loud as a normal restaurant.
no. Well, it's a lot bigger room with the same amount of people.
Yeah. So I liked it. The food was good. My burger was actually excellent. Like I really liked it.
The fries were good.
But yeah,
Fried
it was
chicken was
it was
good.
a much different dining experience. There wasn't a lot of talking and like camaraderie.
Well, there's the car side speaker that's like right next to your
Yeah.
ear, and they had it. In my opinion, it was cranked up a little too loud because you couldn't talk even to the people right in front of or behind you.
Yeah.
You had to kind of like halfway yell at each other.
But it was
Speak
really
was
great
loud.
theming. Like they
Food was
did
great.
theming. The food was great. It was just much different than I was expecting.
Yeah.
So from there, Reagan fell asleep in the stroller, and we decided that we were just going to run around Batuu. I was able to actually change our oldest canteen reservation from 8 o'clock that night to like 2:30 in the afternoon. So we got to just run around, try out the data pad stuff, see the shops, just kind of interact with things. We saw a first order.
Try the colored milk.
Yeah, we saw a first order like show while we tried the colored milk. I was team green, you were team blue.
There's teams.
Well, you like the green one, or you like the blue one better, you said.
So we're on drinking teams now? Is that what you're saying?
Sure.
This is a first.
There's a lot of really interesting things to just run around and look at.
The data pad stuff was very similar, in my opinion, to the Harry Potter wand
Yeah,
stuff. They
but
had
it actually
certain things,
worked.
they had certain things that you could do that would make like noises happen or things move or whatever in the
Things
scenery
light up.
that was built into, things light up or whatever. And then there was an interactive game that went with it that you could gain points from and stuff. So it was very similar, not quite as physically interactive as the Harry Potter one was, but very similar in style. But it's all run through your phone, and so it doesn't have the glitches that the infrared sensors do at
Yeah.
Harry Potter stuff.
Which I would much rather, even if it doesn't have the physical interaction, I would much rather it just work than not. Because I would get really frustrated with the Harry Potter stuff.
The other thing that was really nice is there was no line to do it. So you could run around. There wasn't a line to go play with this or a line to go do that or whatever. You could just do it on your phone all at the same time if there were other people there. Whereas at the Harry Potter world, you had to like wait in line to be the person that made the frog croak
Yeah.
sometimes. So I like the physical interaction stuff, but it was nice, that there wasn't glitches and there was no lines.
Yep. Then we did get to go to Olga's Canteen. That was a fun experience. We do appreciate and like Trader Sam's. There's a lot of fun things, even if you don't like to drink at Trader Sam's. And it wasn't, I don't think it was quite to the level of interaction as Trader Sam's, but there was a lot
No,
going on.
but they don't have explosions at Trader Sam's.
Okay, we did experience an explosion.
Malfunction.
So the tool that they use to make the carbonite drink, aka the thing that
CO2.
holds the CO2,
The tank, the ruptured.
yeah. Well, I thought it was actually the tool that the thing came out of ruptured or came off or something.
The valve, you mean?
Yeah. It was
Something
exploding CO2 everywhere. And we had sat there long enough and like, you know, the hyperdrive like goes down and so it stops the music and so then, you know, you have to bang on the thing and it comes back up, right? So there are things that it happened in the canteen like that where things malfunction. So for a good probably 20 seconds, we didn't know if it was
No.
like
It wasn't 20 seconds. It was the first about 2 seconds that feels like 20 seconds because everyone's sitting there and the people at the bar were getting blasted in the chest with shards of glass from the drinks that exploded.
it wasn't
and from the
glass,
CO2
but
that was jetting about 15 feet out from the tank.
yeah.
And at first everyone kind of sat there and then about
see
2
the
seconds
cast
later
member-
people were like,
The cast members like,
yeah,
get
the cast
out of the
members
way."
the cast members all jumped back and
Yeah.
then people realized, oh, this isn't part of the show.
Yeah.
And so at that point the bar cleared instantaneously.
Yeah.
Everyone
At
was
least
gone.
that half of the bar did.
And we were sitting on the other side of the room just watching, drinking our drinks like, this is interesting.
Yeah. But honestly, I think Disney handled it great, like they always do. And they cleaned everything up really quick and things went back to normal.
That side of the room was clear for about 20 minutes.
Because
they had to clean up all the
up
glass.
the glass and whatnot. But I don't think anybody was seriously hurt, so
It was just CO2.
yeah.
No one was in there huffing it or anything.
No. So besides that, drinks. You didn't necessarily
Expensive, tasty.
so you did like yours as far as the taste went.
Yeah, it was okay. It was a Powerade drink. Neither of us got alcoholic drinks,
No.
so
I got the Jamba Juice.
it
which
wasn't
was
super strong
excellent.
because Powerade's not super strong.
Yeah.
Yours was really good.
I liked mine. a
Mine
lot.
was pretty good.
And then the cutest part was Reagan learned to cheer. Clink.
We did a fake little clink thing or whatever because we had made it through the explosion or something like that. I
Yeah.
don't know what it was. And Reagan watched us do it one time, and then when I set my glass down, she picked it up, clinked it with her, and then took a sip of air because there was nothing left.
Yeah. She was really cute.
Yeah, it was really funny.
Then we took some pictures. We shopped a little bit more.
Bought some of the popcorn.
Bought some of the
Very good.
popcorn. And then we decided to go to Epcot
And get more food.
and get more food. We rode Figment. And we let Reagan run around the Imagination Works area. And then we had fast passes to to Spaceship Earth. And then Reagan got to run around on the playground that they had set up for Food and Wine, and she loved that. That was actually the night that we had the cheesecake from Hawaii, and we have some pretty cute footage of her taking the plate and using it as a drum. So yeah, great second day.
People actually recognized your Disney bound
They
thing.
did. I did Princess Leia, but not your typical Princess Leia. I did the one from Emperor Strikes Back when Empire Strikes Back, not Emperor. From the Empire
Some
Strikes
weird
Back.
mixture
And
of Emperor's
she-
Last Groove and Star Wars.
And I did the outfit from when she was in the clouds.
You've thrown off the Emperor's groove.
Sorry. Anyway, so yes, I did Princess Leia from that movie, and people actually recognized it, which was fun. And I made that coat from scratch from a pattern just based off of the picture. So I was pretty proud of myself, and I did that in a day. Maybe I'll post the step-by-step of me doing that on my Instagram.
Indestructible.
Alright, well thank you guys for joining us today and dealing with our goofiness. And we will see you guys next week for day 3, where we're celebrating Halloween and talking about Mickey's Not So Scary Halloween Party. Adios!